Hey everyone, before we begin today's video, a friendly reminder to like and subscribe to the channel and to turn on the notification bell so you don't miss a single upload from me. I'm also over on Twitch, so consider following or subscribing at twitch.com/IamSlimYGO. If you want to support me in the channel, you can do so by using my TCG Player affiliate link when you shop for cards, as it's no cost to you. If you're looking for awesome custom play mats and sleeves, check out Your Playmat and use my affiliate link when you shop and it will save you 10% on checkout. In addition, if you want the best gaming chairs and gaming tables on the market, visit Gaming and use the code SLIM for 20% off and begin gaming in style. Lastly, if you really want to support the channel, consider joining my Patreon, where for as little as $1 a month you can support me and what I do here. All these links will be in the description below. With all that being said, let's get to today's video.
Hey guys, my name is Derek Freeman. I'm returning to Slim YGO's YouTube channel. Thank you for tuning in. I wanted to bring you guys my take on the Orcust MEKK-KNIGHT deck because I've been playing this game for a while. I've been playing Orcust for a while, and I feel like I have a good understanding of it. My deck is a little different compared to the ones you have seen previously on this channel or on other channels. So I just wanted to give you guys a different take to show you that there is another way to play the deck and still get results. So to start the deck off, we do play 3 Girsu, the little mini boss monster of the whole deck. It's a godsend to the Orcust deck. So what I really like about the card is that it has the token generation, which also helps the extension of plays. For those of you who are playing against the deck, do not ash this card. This is literally the worst card you can ash within the deck unless you have them at a choke point. But very good card for the deck. To go along with the star of the show, we do play 1 World One, 1 Simple Skeleton, 1 Nightmare, and also 1 Bombard. So this is standard within any Orcust deck. The Bombard is the new addition. I've been playing Bombard for a little bit now. I really like the card. So as we move forward into the post-Bode format, this card is going to allow the deck to be able to do a few new things, especially if you want to start to incorporate things like the Instant Fusion package or the Ready Fusion package. But why we play this card is for 3 reasons. 1, it creates columns for the MEKK-KNIGHT engine. 2, it allows you to push for more damage by bringing a body to the board. And 3, it allows that additional body that you can bring to the board to be extra material for whatever you need in the creation of whatever board you're attempting to make. Very good card in my opinion. Next up, we play 3 purple Nightfall and then 1 blue. So blue is great because it adds 2 to hand based on how many cards is in your opponent's column. Purple Nightfall is really good for 2 factors. It's level 8 and it also has 2500 attack. So the 2500 attack becomes critical when you're playing against decks like say for example Shadal's, where they put El Shadal Wind on the board. Bring this out, you can literally run over whatever you need to. And then the quick effect is very good in the battle phase. That's how you dodge things like Effect Veiler so that you can continue making your boards and getting the cards that you need to do that. Next, we also play the scrap package. So there's 3 scrap recycler, 1 scrap golem, 1 Rosenix, and then 1 World Legacy Succession. So this package in itself is very good. This is the best normal summon of the deck. However, just because it's the best normal summon of the deck doesn't mean you should always start with that as your normal summon. So for those who are very good players or experienced players, you know what I'm talking about when it comes to ladder building or tree climbing. So sometimes you just have to choose what is the best option when you have a few different options within hand, and that would be for any deck that you have. Next up, we play the Red Eyes package as well. So Red Eyes Fusion, Dark Magician, Red Eyes Black Dragon. This package is very good. I do recommend it. Where I see some players messing up is making Dragoons turn 1. You do not always have to make Dragoons on turn 1. So mainly how I like to use Dragoons is for pushing for that extra value of damage. So I'll wait until turn 2, 3, depending on where I'm at within the ladder, to bring out a Dragoons and put them in an oppressive position. I do also want to say this package is actually very flexible, so you do not have to actually play this. You can make this 3 other cards and still keep this deck being very strong. Moving past that, we also play 3 Phantasme. Phantasme is a very good hand trap for this deck, and it's the only hand trap that we play within the main deck. The reason why it's great is because it's an additional body, has 2400 attack, and does hand sculpting for you. So you can get the cards that you don't need in hand or dig deeper into your deck to be able to facilitate better plays moving forward. Very good card for the deck. Next, we also play for our Orcust support, Orcust Babel and Orchestrated Return. We do not play the counter trap. The reason why is the counter trap does not encourage good gameplay from you as a Orcust player playing this version of the deck. So we want to use our Galatea to either go into Dingrisu so we can get an engrave and cycle it later, or we want to use Galatea for additional link fodder to keep link climbing. So yeah, right now I would not recommend playing the counter trap. Next, we have Call by the Grave to protect us, Monster Reborn for extension, and Foolish Burial for the same thing. Monster Reborn is very good within this deck. So anytime you can open up Succession or Reborn along with Scrap Recycler, you're going to have a very good game most of the time, because if they affect Veiler, Infinite Impermanence, or Ash Blossom, Gamma, your Scrap Recycler, you're going to continue to play because you have Monster Reborn. Next, we also play Forbidden Droplet. This card is very good, very pricey though. If you can afford to play this card, definitely get it. There isn't a card in our current metagame that does exactly what this card does, and this deck is built to break boards, so that is what the purpose of this card is. Negate what we need to, continue our board creation, and then put our opponent in a position where they have a hard time. Next, we have Triple Tactics Talents. Very good card. Has 3 effects, as we all know. As you're building a board in a deck like this, I feel like this deck is one of the decks that takes the best advantage of a card like Triple Tactics Talent. Just being able to look at your opponent's hand and pick something off, or get an additional 2 cards, or the change of heart effect. It's very good depending on what state of the game, or what stage of the game you're at within games 1, 2, or 3. Next, we also play 3 Infinite Impermanence. We opt to play this over Effect Veiler, or even including Effect Veiler, because 1, we don't want to trigger a card like Triple Tactics Talent to become live, and 2, this gives us column presence. So with the column presence, that helps our Mekk-Knight engine be able to flourish as well. So very good card. If you did want to play a card like Effect Veiler, you can cut the Dragoons engine and bring that in. And then next up, we have 3 Torrential Tribute. Torrential Tribute is a great card. For a deck like this, I feel like it helps Torrential shine in today's format of Yu-Gi-Oh! Because what the deck is built to do is break a board and then be able to set it. So whether I'm going first or second, it doesn't matter, because if I can open this card with any of my line of play to build my boards, I can make Torrential feel like how it used to back in the day, to where it's impactful, where if your opponent starts to play again, just wipe the board and then I'm going to get another turn. So I feel like a deck like this can take really good advantage of a card like this. It also helps protect your board when you have things. Sorry, I said that wrong. When you have a card like Dingrisu on board with Torrential Tribute as well, you can protect your monsters. And then if you have a Dragoons on board with it backed up by a Torrential Tribute, that's really good itself. Next up, for our extra deck, we play Almirage for the scrap package, Link Karibo, and then 1 IP Masquerena. So if you open Succession, Monster Reborn, and they negate the scrap recycler and it stays on board, just link off into this and then continue play. So the only way they can answer that is with a DD Crow or with Ghost Bell, which most decks do not have either of those in the main. And then, IP Masquerena, this card is in here because of our Link 4 package. So the reason why I love this card is it gives all those Link 4s the ability of non-destruction, or not being able to be destroyed by card effect. So really good. Next up, to continue with our Link 2s, we have Predaplant, Scrap Wyvern, 2 Galatea, and then a Lib as well. So when you open up the Orcust combo with the Scrap Recycler engine, you're going to take away 2 cards from your opponent if it's turn 2 or higher, because this one is going to target a card, destroy a card, if they don't answer it, that is. And then this one here, when it's used as link material, gives you non-targeting removal of any card on the field. So it's a really good package in my personal opinion. Predaplant's Predaplant, and then Galatea's Galatea. So being able to grab Babble out of the deck or return, or even using it for link material or using it for overlay material, very good. To follow that up, we also have Nightmare Unicorn as our sole Link 3 within the deck. No other Link 3s. Not much to say about it. And then we also have our Link 4 package. So Appaloosa is great within this deck because you want that additional negation of monster effects depending on what deck you're playing against. You don't have to make Appaloosa in every game, but you make it in a lot of games. Access Code Talker, this is the one that is summoned the least, but does the most in terms of being able to establish a presence that's very dominant. So in a deck like this, Access Code Talker doesn't flourish very well because most of the monsters that are Link in your extra deck are going to be dark. Versus if you made it in a deck like Tri-Brigade that has additional attributes that are Link monsters, you get more destruction out of your own Access Code Talker. But the reason why we play Access Code Talker is because when we play against a deck like Drytron, for example, using IP Masquerade to make the Access Code Talker makes it very hard for a Drytron player to beat you. In fact, they cannot beat you because what is required to be able to beat the Access Code Talker is being able to generate a monster on their board that has 4,400 or higher attack, depending on what your link materials were. Or they play Underworld Goddess, which most lists do not. So with not being able to be destroyed by card effects, making this with IP Masquerena, that is, it makes it a very hard card to out. And then same thing for Borosword. Make this with IP Masquerena. Can't be destroyed by battle, can't be destroyed by card effect. So there isn't very many cards that other decks are playing that can actually get rid of this card. And then this deck takes full advantage of a card like Borosword because the Borosword OTK is very real. So your opponents have to keep a lookout for that. And then last but not least, we play 2 Dingrisu and then also 1 Red Eyes Dark Dragoon. Dingrisu, very good card. Love that it has non-targeting removal. And then Red Eyes Dark Dragoon, not much to say about it itself. Post Bode, this will probably end up becoming Phoenix Enforcer. I do have a list that does play Dragoons and Phoenix Enforcer in the same list, but it just depends on how the meta shapes up, if that becomes the way I move forward with the deck or not. For our side deck, we have 3 Droll and Lockbird. Very standard in my opinion for a deck like this for its side deck, because Drytron, it can be a hard matchup at times. And then 2 Nibiru. So for those who are not OG Orcust players, just to let you know a particular interaction that is very useful with Nibiru in this deck, if you have Babble Up, obviously you know all of your Orcust monsters become quick effects. With the appropriate Orcust monster, if you're able to put Nibiru on Chainlink 1, which you should at that point, if you activate a Orcust monster after that effect, it locks you into darks. When that occurs, what happens is you will resolve Nibiru as much as possible when it's time to resolve it. It will sacrifice the board, but it will not summon. So effectively what happens is the Nibiru stays in your hand, and then you have it for follow-up plays moving on forward into the future of the game as well. So that's a cool little interaction you have that some players still don't know about, so put that in your back pocket, boys and girls. And then next up, we also have 2 Dark Ruler No More and 3 Twin Twister for spell trap destruction. This is mainly for the VW deck and Shaddolls, and then this is for the Drytron matchup. And then last but not least, my favorite part of my side deck that catches everyone off guard is going to be my traps. So we have 3-dimensional barrier and then 2 Ice Dragon's Prison. This one, everybody knows what it is by now. Dimensional barrier, people are caught off guard. I've been playing this card for the last 3 months since Drytron has been a deck. And then in our current format, what we have now is we have a nice little trifecta of decks that are rogue that this card does work well against. For example, like Shaddoll, PK. So this card does a lot of work. It will continue to do work moving into the Bode format because of Sword Soul. So if you don't have this card now, I highly recommend that you pick it up. It does have 2 other printings, one as a common, one as a reprinted secret. So get your copies now if you don't have it. And then Ice Dragon's Prison, it's a very good card as well. I feel like my side deck is pretty close to perfect, but I say that because this is the flex spot within my side deck that has changed so. So the 2 cards that I'm thinking of putting in here would either be Chaos Hunters, Lightning Storms, or Lancias. I go between those cards itself just in these 2 slots here, but Ice Dragon's Prison, at times it just overperforms. And then what people sometimes don't realize about Ice Dragon's Prison is that it's a then you can effect to banish another monster on the field when you summon, so you can get an additional body if you need it by using this card from your opponent's graveyard, or you can obviously remove something. So that is my deck. That is my list. I do want to thank you guys, and I do also want to get your opinion of it. So down in the comment section, go ahead, let me know what you think, say what you would or would not change, and please also like and subscribe to Slim's channel as well. We just want to thank him for doing what he does for this community. Have a good day, guys.
Thank you all for watching the video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and a special thanks to all my patrons. It's because of you, after all these years, I'm still able to make this type of content. Hopefully you guys will check out some of the videos that are suggested here for you, and just remember, you guys, it's not just a game, it's a lifestyle. Thanks for watching.